Hey everyone, I'm back with another update. In this episode, I'll cover news related to immigration and fraud. Of course, I'll end with the noteworthy tidbits. Senator Lindsey Graham drew up legislation with the White House to abolish sanctuary cities for illegal aliens, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer announced a government shutdown is coming this week since Senate Democrats are refusing to pass appropriations if DHS funding is included. President Trump and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem pointed out that if Minnesota would turn over violent criminal illegal aliens to DHS instead of releasing them out onto the streets, like every other state does, deportation efforts would go much smoother and there'd be less clashes between agitators and law enforcement. Trump said that 150,245 criminal illegal aliens were arrested across the states of Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Texas last year, with zero protests, riots, or chaos, because local police and ICE worked together. As I mentioned in the previous episode, the fake news media reported that a 5-year-old boy was detained by ICE when, in actuality, the boy was abandoned by his father, who was fleeing ICE. We've learned that officers tried to return the boy to his mother, reassuring her that if she took the boy in, they wouldn't arrest her. However, bystanders in the area told her not to come to the door. Fearing arrest, she chose not to open the door for her child, so the ICE agents had no choice but to take the boy. The agents took the boy to McDonald's and played his favorite music to comfort him, and videos were released of the area in which children of detained illegal aliens live, and they have access to multiple computers, books, toys, furniture to lounge on, and a variety of other amenities to keep them happy and healthy during their stay. It's been discovered that Mexico has 53 consulates in the United States who are setting up anti-ICE protests and riots, including one up in the Twin Cities working on what's happening in Minneapolis, and an agitator bit off the end of an agent's finger. As we've all been hearing about for several days now, Alex Preddy lost his life while engaging in a physical altercation with law enforcement officers. Some call it murder, some call it self-defense, but I'm just calling it a very unfortunate accident, and I'll leave it at that. Attorney General Pam Bondi couldn't pass up a chance to talk tough on TV again, and she announced to the world that she sent Governor Tim Walz a very strong letter telling him he better support President Trump and the men and women of law enforcement. Americans are demanding the arrest of Governor Walz's ally Amanda Kohler, who reportedly leads the anti-ICE riots through a signal group, and Minnesota State Representative Alex Falconer is facing renewed calls to be arrested for the same reason. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche pointed out that Texas deports 10 times the amount of illegals as Minnesota, yet there are no riots and barely any violence. It was revealed that the anti-ICE agitators who stormed the church in Minnesota blocked the stairs so parents couldn't get to their children, and they even yelled in the children's faces. The U.S. Appeals Court found probable cause to charge Don Lemon, and Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon is pursuing charges against Lemon for storming the church. On to rampant fraud. It has been confirmed that Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison met with Somali fraudsters under FBI investigation to obtain campaign donations in exchange for getting the money flowing back to the Somali group. David Hoke, the man who has been exposing fraud in Minnesota with Nick Shirley, will testify before Congress on the intel he's been gathering for years, and CMS Administrator Dr. Oz and Jim O'Neill said they found a former linen factory transformed into 400 Medicaid businesses to generate almost $500 million. Let me repeat this. 400 businesses were supposedly in one single factory. Not to be outdone, California was caught in massive homelessness fraud, dishing out $23 billion to a fraudster who used taxpayer funds to live a luxurious life. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley launched an investigation into where the missing homelessness funds went, and the Department of Justice has already confirmed that some of that money was spent on a Land Rover, a mansion, a second home in Greece, luxury vacations, designer clothes, and private schools. Dr. Oz confirmed California stole $1.5 billion in federal tax funds to give health care to illegal aliens, with more data on this to be out soon. And Vice President Vance confirmed that so far, a total of $7 billion worth of fraud has been found in California. I'd like to point out that it's a bit suspicious that anti-ICE riots break out in the states that have the most fraud. The pattern appears to be, once billions of dollars worth of fraud is discovered, riots soon follow. Now it's time for the noteworthy tidbits, which are brought to you today by Big Fork Brands. Let me tell you about them quick. Sometimes I get on a roll cleaning or gardening, and I need a boost but don't have time for a meal. Big Fork brand's pork jerky is the perfect choice to keep my momentum, offering high-protein snacks for on-the-go energy boosts. Not only do they offer pork jerky, but they also make pork sticks, bacon sausage, bacon hot dogs, and burger and hot dog sauces. Products come in a variety of delicious flavors, including Thai green curry and maple and brown sugar for the meat options, and gangster and Chicago fire for the sauces. I personally think the original flavor of the pork jerky hits just right after tackling a big chore. It's a little salty and very flavorful. My discount code gives you 20% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit bigforkbrands.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. All right, let's get back to the tidbits. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed 6 of the top 10 most wanted fugitives have been arrested in the past year, and Ryan Wedding, one of the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives, was arrested on charges of running a transnational drug trafficking group responsible for 60 tons of cocaine being imported from Mexico. Wedding is an Olympian and was reportedly involved in several murders. President Trump called out Canada for being against the Golden Dome being built over Greenland, even though it would protect Canada as well, and he threatened 100% tariffs against all Canadian goods if Carney makes a deal with China. General Motors is moving production of the Buick Envision SUV from China to Kansas. President Trump endorsed Representatives Anna Paulina Luna, Darrell Issa, Tom McClintock, Clay Higgins, Aaron Houchin, Jefferson Shreve, Victoria Spartz, Jim Baird, Rick Allen, Austin Scott, Rich McCormick, Jay Obernolte, Brian Jack, Brett Guthrie, French Hill, Nick Langworthy, Mike Flood, Jason Smith, Tom Emmer, Steve Scalise, Mike Johnson, and Michelle Fischbach for re-election. FBI Director Kash Patel purged multiple senior officials from the Bureau for being tied to weaponized investigations into President Trump. The Department of War struck another narco-terrorist boat, killing 2 with 1 survivor. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said he supports the province of Alberta seceding from Canada and joining forces with the United States. Navy Undersecretary Hung Cao made moves to welcome back and correct the records of sailors and Marines discharged for refusing the COVID vaccine. The United States officially withdrew from the World Health Organization, and Congressman Andy Biggs demanded Congress immediately codify this action. Matt Kibbe pointed out that the Republicans' latest spending bill as of January 25th fully funds the Department of Education at Biden-era levels, prohibits the transfer of funds to other agencies, and requires the maintenance of staffing levels. So that's nice. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna formed an alliance with multiple House Republicans that will refuse to send any bill to the Senate unless it includes the SAVE Act. Representative Luna explained that, in her words, if they choose to shut down the government, when they choose to reopen it, they will have to also then simultaneously vote on the SAVE Act. Secretary Bessent pointed out that since 1980, the United States has spent $22 trillion more on defense than NATO. Lastly, President Trump approved emergency declarations for several states due to the winter weather storms and cold temperatures over the weekend, and the administration is working closely with FEMA, governors, and state emergency management teams to ensure the safety of everyone. That's all I have for today. I'll be back with another update soon. Until then, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast, and follow me on Instagram and X at Shades of Jade Pod. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.